How to create a business operations manual. I know as an owner, you probably answer the same questions every day, but it may be because you never wrote the answers down. Two manuals will free you from chaos. One's day-to-day and one's operational. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to both build and train both manuals over a period of 52 weeks. We, in our work, get to interact and engage with a lot of business owners around a lot of different industries and a lot of different parts of the world. And as we talk to them, there's some commonalities, some similarities as we get into these conversations. And it usually doesn't take long before a business owner will look at us and just go, hey, I got into this business so I could do X, and yet I feel like I spend my entire day doing Y and Z. All the way over here. And so I'm answering questions like paid time off. I don't want to answer that. I just want to do my work, right? And so what ends up happening is we spend a lot of our time, a lot of our energy focused on things that are more maintenance than they are creativity, developing, things like that. It's the reason we got in the business in the first place. Well, that's usually what owning a business will do to a person. We start to get, our attention gets hijacked away from the things that we got into the business for, and instead they get directed to the things that we never wanted to do in the first place. So you're inundated with questions like, hey, how much time off do I get? Or how much time off have I taken? Or when can I take time off? And you're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Or travel policies, or office policy. How do I keep my office clean and all this stuff? Sometimes it feels like you're kind of going back and parenting to some degree, and we don't want to do that. So is there a way that we could actually grab the answers to all of these questions, put it in one spot, so when they're asked, we direct them to that instead of directing them to ourselves? So as we're thinking about this business operations manual, I want you to have kind of two manuals in your head. One is going to answer the day-to-day questions around the business. The other is going to answer the day-to-day questions around just the operations to fulfill the product. So there's three things that I'm going to want you to do. The first is we're going to start kind of big picture, and then we're going to work our way down and get in the weeds at the very end. So big picture, I want you to think of your business kind of like a human body. The human body has 11, 12 systems in it, skeletal system, cardiovascular, etc. And when we look at a business, we don't think of a business as an organism like we think of a human body, but think about the value of understanding the skeletal substructure of a human body. Most of us take it for granted, because we grew up in school and they had skeletons in the corner of science class, and so we just kind of assumed, okay, that's how it is and we know what that looks like. But think about this, in business and running a business, has anybody ever showed you the skeletal system of a business? Well, we've got it right here, and we did it in color, so I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So here's what I want you to do. Before we get into those handbooks, I want you to understand what those handbooks are going to actually map out in an operations manual. So when we look at a business, your business has an underlying skeletal system that's under kind of the dermis or the skin of that particular business. And so we think about your business under the skin. It's really boiled down into two major parts, or operating systems that we call it. One is the macro operating system, and the other is the micro operating system. Macro in blue, micro in orange. And when we think about the macro operating system, those are the 4 P's, or the 4 foundational cornerstones that every business must absolutely have documented out in different formats. So those 4 P's are purpose, people, process, and profit. And the purpose is that tells us where the business is going, why it's going there, how we make decisions. The people vertical tells us who's going to do all of this and what do those who's need to abide by, and the scorecards and the goals and all of those sorts of things. Then we get to the process vertical of this, and those are the actual tasks day by day that the who's are going to do so that we can get to the purpose of the business. And then finally, we got to make sure we have fuel in the tank. So that leads to that 4th category of the profit vertical, to make sure past, present, and future, balance sheets, income statements, cash and cash balances today, calculators, budgets, pro formas, all of that's there. Yeah, even for a 2-person business, right? Because I know you're thinking, well, once I get big enough, then I'll do all of this. No, we want to start today. Can you imagine a toddler that came out and goes, hey, once I get to 5 years old, then I'll take the skeleton? You're like, that's weird. I don't even know where I came up with that metaphor, but whatever. You can follow me. So we've got the macro up here, and then we've got the micro system. So these are the day-to-day processes that it takes to run the business. The MSOA, marketing, sales, operations, administration, accounting functions. And so, by the way, they go in that order. The order is very important. We don't start with operations and then go prospecting, right? We start by prospecting, then we sell, then we fulfill, then we administer. And so we really do want to go in that order when we're thinking about that. So the first step is we want to look at our business through the lens of a skeletal system. So now maybe for the first time, you can see your business, whatever you're selling, through the lens of a skeletal system or an operating system. Your business functions on a natural operating system, and this visually is what it looks like when you lay it out. All right, so once we've seen our business this way, then let's move into the two manuals, these operations manuals that we want to do. So we want the first handbook to be able to answer those day-to-day recurring questions that come up today and tomorrow, and we forget, remember, and forget, and remember. And it's just a straight up, good old-fashioned handbook. And so if we go to the purpose vertical of our business, we want to help drive culture to get us to the vision, and part of the way we can do that is by answering these recurring questions, and we can build a basic handbook. Now, I can see you rolling your eyes. I see you right there rolling your eyes. How do we do this? Because I know some of you are thinking, good grief, do we really need a handbook? You really do need a handbook. Not just for the insurance side and the risk mitigation side and all that stuff, but remember what my goal is for you, is to liberate you from chaos to make time for what matters most. How do we do that? We counteract it with clarity. And what this handbook can do is offer regulated clarity throughout the year. It can answer questions like paid time off, like when do we rent a car? How far out do we rent a car? What's the travel policy? What's our budget when we go out to meals for entertainment? What's our budget for hotels? Like all of these questions get popped up depending on the business that you're in. What do gas cards look like? All of that needs to be dealt with, and you do need to have a policy around that. Even if the policy is this is a case-by-case basis, which we need to be really careful about, that is still a policy that can go in the handbook to bring some clarity. So how do you do that? The easiest way to do this is to follow that verbiage that we have called the systems mindset. And here's what it says. We mainly deal with this in our process vertical with the micro operating system. And the systems mindset is whatever the next process is that you're about to do, about to pull a permit or you're about to bill a customer or whatever, let's capture it like it's the last time you'll ever do it. Well, we want to do the same for the handbook, this day-to-day operations manual of these day-to-day questions that come up. How do we do that? We come and the next question that you get, hey, how much time off do we get? Oh, pause, stop. We want to grab that question. We want to document it on a document called Handbook. Don't be too novel about it. And write the question down and then answer the question. Hey, what's our budget for eating out? Oh, stop. Grab the question, document it, answer it. Train on it. Grab it, document, answer. Grab, document, answer. Over and over and over again. You do not have to build out your handbook all in one swoop, all in 3 hours. You can do it over the course of a month, a year, a quarter, whatever that might be, so that you're answering relevant questions. Because what you don't want to do is add questions in here that your people are not asking. You will create confusion by doing that. So just wait for them to ask the question, go answer the question in the handbook, and then train them on what the answer to that question is. Now, the second handbook that we're going to go to is the actual operational handbook for the process operations of the business, basically how to fulfill the product. So how do we do that? So we go from the handbook right down here. Now, this does not fall under the people vertical. I just put it down here. This actually follows up under the process vertical called our Master Process Roadmap. Now, here's a simple roadmap. Take your MSOA, Marketing, Sales, Ops, Admin, put them horizontally across one sheet of paper, and then I want you to take and set a timer and to go map out every process that exists in your business. Well, where do I find those? You know what they are. All the things you do for marketing, all the things you do for sales, for operations, just put the title down. That's it. You don't have to document it out yet. Just put the title down, and then the next time you do it, document it like it's the last time you'll ever do it, and then train it. So we've got this thing that we call the MDT on the RPM, right? Map, document, train. Map, document, train, and then do it with repetition, predictability, and meaning. So when we come down here, we're going to map it out. Marketing, Sales, Ops, and Admin, put all the processes down here. Then we're going to document each of those processes as we do them, not a separate off-site meeting, as we do them. And then every week, we're going to train MDT with what? The RPM, with repetition, predictability, and meaning. Then what we're going to do around the training with the RPM is we're simply going to get a spreadsheet, put the weeks of the year across the top, should be 52 of them, put the Marketing, Sales, Ops, and Admin down the side, and then each cell across the year, just put in one of the training processes that are there. Every single week at a team meeting, just train on a process, train on a process. Should not take you more than 2 to 3 minutes. You don't have to go step by step through the whole thing. Just pull it up. Hey gang, reminder this is here. Couple key points. Anything changed? Okay, let's move on and we'll go train the next week. It's constantly breeding efficiency through 2 types of operations manual, the handbook and the master process roadmap. Now here's the linchpin to all of this. If you don't have good people, both of these operational manuals are going to break down. So how do we do that? Go into the description link below. I've got a powerful video on how to train a new employee. You have got to go through it. Why? Is because I know you're in chaos when you look at this stuff and you feel this stuff, and we want you out. We work with business owners between 3 and 100 employees. We will take all of your stuff. Our coaches will take all your stuff in the tools and templates we've already built at about 2 to 4 hours a week, and we will build for you an operational model on an operating system that will liberate you from chaos to make time for what matters most.